World diplomacy seems all too lacking right now as wars continue to embroil Europe and the Middle East. As a country that has not been involved in a single war in more than 4 decades, China stands out amongst its counterparts and is positioning itself as a steady and reasonable voice in the world. In September 2025, President Xi Jinping laid out the Global Governance Initiative, or GGI, at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit that calls for a more equitable world system grounded in respect for sovereignty, international law, and genuine multilateral cooperation that ensures people-centered outcomes. Beijing has long relied on a consistent set of guidelines known as the 5 Principles of Peaceful Coexistence for nearly 70 years. The emphasis is on mutual respect, non-interference, cooperation, equality, and the renunciation of aggression. The new initiative comes with more than just rhetoric. China backed it up with commitments of development, aid, and financing for partner nations. From the Bandung Conference between African and Asian states in 1955 to today, China's foreign policy has been shaped by the guiding belief that the global majority, if left to solve its own problems, can overcome the fractures imposed by imperialism and chart its own path towards peace. These principles resonate deeply in much of the global South, which still lives with the aftermath of the unilateral interventions in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Libya, and the scars of the Berlin Conference of 1884 that carved up Africa. Its approach has been a methodical diplomacy that rejects the imperialist law of force, first in Asia and on the global stage. This approach bore fruit in 2023 when Beijing mediated discussions between Iran and Saudi Arabia, striking a historic peace deal after decades of escalation, even creating space for a ceasefire in Yemen. In Palestine too, China has carved out an important role. Drawing on its own history of anti-colonialism, Beijing recognizes that liberation and national unity are inextricably linked. Last July, China convened 14 Palestinian factions, often divided over strategy and the legacy of the Oslo Accords, to come together under its mediation with the aim of Palestinian self-determination. This stands in stark contrast to the West, which long ago branded Palestinian resistance as terrorism. China has affirmed the resistance a legitimate right. Even during the recent escalation with Iran, the US and Israel chose unilateral action, while China constantly called for de-escalation, ceasefires, and the recognition of a Palestinian state. These calls have come during a time when China has also maintained strong diplomatic channels with the US and Israel, and used its seat in the United Nations Security Council to address the crisis through appropriate channels. Beijing has also pressed forward to help maintain calm between Thailand and Cambodia, and mediate among warring factions in Myanmar, opening the door to long-postponed elections. China has proposed a peace plan in Ukraine published in 2023 and welcomed across the global South, but dismissed by Kiev's Western patrons. China prefers collective platforms, contributing tens of thousands of troops to UN peacekeeping missions, strengthening the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, where India and Pakistan sit at the same table, and advancing cooperation inside BRICS. So after decades of the same old thing, perhaps it's time to try something new? What do you think?